I was in the greenhouse when it happened. I'm actually shaking right now. We got a really bad storm that came through, and as I was filling up, oh my gosh, there's even shrapnel. Look at it. Look, it flung. Look at this. It came right through. Oh my God. I'm just shaking like a leaf. He came from over there. And yeah. Good morning and welcome back to Niagara Garden Party. We are in the Burr months. Today is September 8th. Low of 8 Celsius last night, which is, we don't like that. Anything lower than 10 Celsius, things kind of struggle. So I don't think we're going to be getting more pepper flowers or eggplants. And the tomatoes are starting to die back a little bit. So the Burr months are here and things are getting chilly. And it's not going to be quite the same moving forward. We're closing down the garden. It's garlic planting time, bulb planting time. Quick tour of the garden today. There is still lots going on because we've only been slowly harvesting as we go. Here you can see this is a example of fall. You see this was a bud that would create an eggplant. This right here. So you can see the flower buds here. I don't know if these will end up having enough time to become full eggplants. And the buds falling off is a sign that it's getting a little bit too cold. The eggplants don't like anything lower than 10 Celsius. But there are still things to harvest. The flowers looking absolutely gorgeous over here. There's still bees. I can hear one buzzing around. Really pretty snapdragons. Still putting on quite a show. I'm gonna try to save seeds from all of these things. The apple tree, it's dying back. We only got one apple and I was disappointed in general. Blueberry bushes are also dying back. The pond is doing very well. It's very clear. I blame that on the snails. There are a lot of little snails in there. But the pump is constantly having a bit of a problem. I'm not sure why. We gotta troubleshoot that. If we come over here, we do have beans. Probably lots of beans to harvest, actually. Look at there we go. There's one. Nice big boy. Some of them are a little old now. Will have to be for seed saving, like these crusty guys. But there should be lots of beans. Yeah, purple beans. Kind of hard to see with the morning sun. These tomato plants, this guy's doing, look, it's kind of, this is what I mean by the tomato plants are dying back. These are all be saved for seeds for the seed exchange coming up, the fall seed exchange. It looks like this one, I don't even know if I'm going to save these ones because none of these tomatoes got to full size really. Moving along, we have my borage popping up in areas. This one went to seed, dropped a bunch of seed. So the borage will be back in this area next spring. The fig looks like it's struggling. Probably needs to be watered. It's very dry on this side. Speaking of which, this tomato plant is not doing that well either. I gave up on this area in front of the greenhouse. And my solution to it right now is to plant succulents. So I have those succulents over here. These are perennial outdoor. So they'll come back. They don't mind being in the snow. So I got a bunch of them. I just put them in there for now. We'll see what happens. Some things happening over here too. The daisy's doing just fine. I love that. So cute. I wonder if these are going to come back. These are supposed to be perennial. We'll see. And I got some marigold seeds I just threw in here. I don't know if they'll end up making marigold flowers. I don't know if they'll have any time left to do such a thing, but we hope for the best. In here is a bunch of weeds and some beans. So I'm going to try to go through and clean these two out today. Clean out a bunch of this today. We had the roof of the greenhouse get messed up by a tree. And yeah, we need to get that replaced. So we have to do the roof. Look at this, just a huge hole. It's a huge tree. Oh, it's so heavy too. Anyway, looking at the positives, the tower is doing fantastic. It's just a bunch of salad greens. The peas are back. I planted them from pea seeds that were growing here that we took down. If you remember from one of the previous videos, it was wild and crazy. Like, it was dried out and gross. There are definitely spider mites in here, but this is a dwarf tomato plant. Ugh, it's not doing too great. You can see, looking bad, looking very bad. Some more salad greens, some beans, a tomato. There's just things growing. Kohlrabi looking gorgeous. This is a banana plant, also looking gorgeous. Big hole. So the squirrels have been in here digging. You can see they made a mess. There's some more beans, salad, greens. Everything doing great. Same with my houseplants over here. Everything's doing pretty good. And if we go to the back, so we're just doing a quick tour today. We have all of the hostas in pots are doing just fine. Some of the raspberries that we had potted up are doing fine as well. Some new growth on them. They were looking a little sad, but it's coming around. Hostas are doing great. Something back here eats the flowers off my daisies. And there's also cats that like to use this as a giant litter box. It's really fun. Some little forget-me-not blue flowers. They're so cute. This is chocolate mint. Smells divine. And the asparagus is doing so good. Look at all of these huge... Oh, it's a big poof because you're supposed to just let it go to seed and establish itself when you plant the crowns. Look, you can see here they're trying to establish themselves. There are some asparagus coming out, but they're not that thick. They're just thin little guys. And they're going to flower and become poofy like the rest of them. And we're just letting this do its thing this year so they can grow and become thicker over time. When they establish, the stalks become thicker. And you have like real asparagus plants that you can harvest. But this is, I think, their first year, so they need some time. A few more snapdragons back here. And my husband is collecting walnuts again to do his walnut starters. I don't know where he's planning to plant all these walnut starters, but here is his collection so far. Squirrels are very jealous. A few other things to take note of in the garden right now. This guy, so many beans. Replanted some lettuce seeds a couple of days ago. They're tiny baby little sprouts. Tiny babies. The sage is doing great. I have not picked the mint out of here. Husband is about to do some mowing. Thank you. This guy's struggling. I don't think he's in... This tomato plant doesn't have enough soil. But that tomato plant, on the other hand, doing so well. So tall, I can't even touch the top. It's crazy. I cut back the columbine, and as you can see, it's doing so much better now. It was like kind of like dry and crispy, and now it's just thriving. And this has gone wild and crazy as well. I'm just kind of letting it do it, but there are things we need to trim up. Every time you walk through here, you get a face full of spiders. Tons of tomatoes need to come down that, honestly, I've let them go too long. You should harvest them when they look like this. There's just so many. So a lot of chores. And then there are peas growing back here. I'm doing the wall of peas again because I thought that worked really well. And I planted some bush beans, added some trellis for them to go up. Husband just cut the grass and we collected all the red tomatoes off of this. So let me show you how many we got. It's crazy. It's just full of tomatoes as far as the eye can see. Ugh. I'm gonna have to wash them and freeze them because that's all I have time for right now. All washed and ziplocked up. I've got 5 bags of the Roma and 4 bags of the just regular round. So I'm going to pack them into this bag, and my husband is going to take them out to the freezer in the back. Make sure they're all ziplocked up. And in the wintertime, when I'm feeling like tomato soup or pasta sauce, we'll just take a couple bags out of the freezer and we'll make homemade sauce. All right, there you go.